So today's webinar about personal branding online hacks and tools. Thanks, Brandon, for joining as the co-host of this webinar. We really like to do webinars with you because you're really personal branding expert. You have a lot of products. You have a lot of business, and this expertise could help our today's attendees to boost their personal branding to the highest point. And my name is Oleg. I am growth marketing manager here at Weblium, while Brandon is CEO of Go for Launch and also the LinkedIn improved product. So Brandon, a couple of words about you, just to make sure that our attendees know what are you in charge for.
Sure. Thank you so much, Oleg. As you mentioned, I'm a Weblium customer. I have been excited to be using the product probably for about 2 years, I guess, since you guys launched. I date myself when I say I started one of the first web development firms in North Carolina. And so I know web development back to the earliest days when you had to know HTML, and then it got more complicated and things like JavaScript, CSS, all kinds of different tools came into play, and things got more and more complicated over the years. Even with the advent of, quote unquote, free platforms like WordPress, you had to know graphic design to a certain degree, and you had to know development as well. Now with tools like Weblium, it makes it so much easier. So single-handedly, I've created 4 different really amazing sites on the Weblium platform, which is why I'm such a huge fan. So that's one of the first things I would say starting off. And thank you for saying I'm a personal branding expert. I don't consider myself as such, but I've just been, very interested in this idea of making sure that you can kind of control the message of what you want to see when people Google you. So we'll talk more about that during the webinar today. Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, thank you. And by the way, you can take a look on our in our chat. You can see that most of the attendees, they from agencies, they set up their own agencies, digital marketing agencies. We have automation specialists here. Also, we have guys from Canada, from Kyiv, from Ukraine. Hi, Max. We have Ira from Toronto. I can see Weblium partners right here. Thank you guys for coming for this webinar. We love our partners. You are the best. If you are not our partner, go and join. You'll see one of the best partnership networks here in digital marketing industry. So Brandon, probably this is time to start with your part. Giving all the credits to you. So please tell more about personal branding.
Sure. Do you want to tell first, Oleg, what we're going to cover quickly on this webinar?
Sure. Let me just do that. So today we'll talk more about personal branding in terms of personal branding online, what components of personal branding in online, how to create your personal website or CV website to boost your personal branding. Then in the end of the webinar, we'll have some kind of Q&As. You can ask your provocative questions in the end of the webinar. If you need to ask a question on the spot, just write it in the chat. In the end of the webinar, we'll just go through it so to find your question. And also, we have the special bonuses for attendees of today's webinar. And what you will learn today is how to build up the strong online presence. The whole webinar, the whole essence of this webinar is about personal branding and development of personal capabilities, right? Also, you'll get recommendations and tools for personal branding and how to build your personal website. We'll show you how to build live. We'll show you live how to build a personal website to get more clients and to grow your partner network, right?
Excellent. Thank you, Oleg. So let's just chat for a second about what exactly is personal branding. It should be obvious by the name or the title, but that phrase, regardless of what country you're in, and we have so many here today, which is exciting to see. It's this idea when you think of a professional brand or a company, they have to embed themselves in people's brains. If you're going to a restaurant or you want to buy a refrigerator or something else, your brain can only hold so many things in its memory. And so if somebody says beverage, you say Coca-Cola, or if somebody says fast food, you say McDonald's. It's branding. It's being known for something, right? And when you talk about personal branding, a lot of times people sort of, I encounter a lot of people who say, oh, I don't like that. It sounds kind of, difficult to comprehend. But, in fact, we all make judgments of each other. When you meet somebody, there's a phrase, you have a few seconds to make a good first impression. It's so much more important now with digital marketing, because a lot of times people are going to Google you. They're going to look on your LinkedIn profile, or if you have a website, they'll look at that. And you have those first few precious moments to make an impression. And somebody's going to say, oh, your website looks like it was created 10 years ago, or you haven't updated your LinkedIn page in 6 months. Are you still relevant for what you do? So a lot of this is about positioning yourself and elevating the perception of yourself as a very credible authority. So people talk about this idea of being a thought leader in your industry, or just differentiating yourself from the competition. So I just wanted to give you this quote to look at from personalbranding.com. And there's also an entire Wikipedia entry on this subject of personal branding. So I've been passionate about this for a long time, as Oleg said, because when you think about it, a lot of different components go into that. Not only, how you present yourself in person, but a lot of other things, starting with your name. And we're going to talk about that in terms of making sure that your name, when you search that, comes up appropriately on page 1 of Google and other search engines. And it's even things like your email address. If you're using an old email address, or you're even something like Gmail, you could have your own name as an email address very cost effectively. Same thing with your URL or web address. And one of the things that Oleg will talk about later is if you work with Weblium to develop your own personal website, they can help you get your URL registered and make sure you maintain that every year. And again, that is very cost effective. So your website, social media sites, obviously important. If you do a Google search for yourself and you don't have a website, typically one of your social media sites is going to be one of the first results. And that probably will be LinkedIn if you're active on LinkedIn, or it could be Facebook or something else. So those are important as well. But we're going to talk about the difference in putting a lot of your emphasis on social media versus also having your own website, and why that's so critically important. The other things that, personal branding impacts are things like your resume, or what is sometimes called a curriculum vitae if you're in the academic world, or CV, and things, again, like we said, like a Google search. So here's just an example from my personal background. I didn't come up with this idea to, based on my name, Brand On, immediately. It took me years to grasp this, but I used to have an old boss at an ad agency that would jokingly, say Brand On. And so a couple years ago, I thought, that's kind of funny. I will just sort of brand myself as my first name, Brand On. So I created a logo, but I also started to early on grasp this idea of ownership. I want to own certain properties. So I registered brandonutley.com. I also own utley.com for what it's worth, but that then allowed me to have an email address. I have brandon@brandonutley.com. Everywhere on social media, you go look for me on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, whatever. I get my name at Brandon Utley. When people search for me, they can find me pretty much anywhere. I even have a marketing email called Brand On that I'd send out every 2 weeks. So these are a couple of examples just from my personal background. So again, critically important if you're going to start thinking about how do you hack your personal brand online is to talk about when you do a Google search. And you know what? We've all done this, right? Or Googled a friend to see what comes up. And that is really critically important. So if I do a search for myself, for example, the first top 2 links are my website, brandonutley.com, which is really good. And then below that, you can see Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook. These are all the biggest top ones. And I've also been fortunate that now Google will sometimes put these boxes out on the first page called Google snippets. And so based on putting some code, some of my other profiles show up. And it also says that I'm an author because I wrote one self-published book. That's enough. So that's fun to see, and that links straight over to Amazon, the book I wrote about podcasting. So let's talk about, if you do a Google search and you think, well, I don't really know where I'm coming up or what my reputation looks like. One of the best tools that I will give you, and this is, you can sign up for free. It's called brandyourself.com. This is an amazing tool. I've been using this for free, and I actually use the free version. It works well for me. But if you have some reputation issues and you need to kind of bump some of those off the front page of Google, they can help you do that for, a premium price as well. But what's neat about Brand Yourself is when you sign up initially, it asks you to connect with a couple of your different social media sites, and then it will do a scan. And as you can see, it's looking for things like whether you've had any unprofessional post online or any other content that might kind of flag you, especially if you're going for a job that somebody might look for and go, this person is not somebody we want to hire. So once you do that, it'll comb through for a few minutes. It will then come back and it will give you a bunch of sites, and you can start going down those one by one and saying, here's a link we found. Is this about you or not? And if you say, yes, this is about me, it will ask you to rate whether that's positive, negative, or neutral. So subjectively, you can say that's positive or it's negative. Now, depending on, and so you go through this. Now, once you get through doing that process, it will give you some results, how much negative information is out there about you versus positive. And what's even better is, and I haven't showed it all here, but it will then direct you step by step. Okay, here's what we recommend that you do. If you don't have a website, get a website. Here's what we recommend in terms of how to write your LinkedIn profile so that you show up better, and it on and on. And again, for the free version, if you spend just an hour or maybe a couple of hours doing this, it can have tremendous results in changing what shows up on Google. And then you'll continue to get emails from Brand Yourself every month, several times a month, saying, hey, we found a result that we're not sure about. Go check this out, things like that. So that is an absolutely great tool. And I highly recommend going to look at that again, brandyourself.com. All right, Oleg, I'm going to turn it over to you now. And Oleg's going to talk about why you need a personal website.
We'll start with some points of why do you need personal website. This is the screenshot that Brandon showed before. He mentioned before that you can have Facebook, you can have personal website, you can have LinkedIn. If you don't have the page in Wikipedia, website is the strongest component that you can have on your name, on your personal name, when somebody Googling you. Because website, if you work with a website, if you develop website, it will appear on the top. So why not to build the website? And 75% of people, they judge the business based on the website design and content and on the website presence itself. The same we can use with the personal website. It doesn't matter, because if it's business or your personal thing, there is no difference, because people judge on how you present in online. This is the phrase. This is the statistics from bluecorona.com. Go and check this website. A lot of good facts there. Secondly, why do you need the website? Just to showcase yourself. This is the example from Tony Robbins' personal. I think that he's the best example of personal branding. He's well known. He's gathering like 15 to 16,000 people simultaneously on the stadium, on the big stadiums, for the public speaking for 4 or 5 days. But the matter that he has the personal website where he can showcase he can tell his personal story, he can upload the videos of how he interacts with the stadium, or how people enjoy him. He can do the or you, if you're not Tony Robbins, apparently you can showcase your portfolio, your projects, just to make people know that you're expert in different areas, right? Third point, why do you need the personal website? Just to beat your competitors. A website apparently is more interactive than social networks, because in social networks you can post, you can just basically post, you can if you have, I don't know, you can be the opinion leader, right? That's totally okay. But somebody can be an opinion leader in Facebook. Somebody can use both Facebook and LinkedIn. Somebody can use Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter. But when you have the personal website, you're just the Superman, because you can showcase more and do more than your other competitors. The fourth thing is interact with your audience. Also, a good point from the Tony Robbins, he has internal like funnels on his website where he can collect the contacts and do email marketing. When you have the personal website, make people to leave your contacts, make people to share their email, so you can tell more stories. For example, updates on blog, or if you are part of some kind of product team, or you're just an entrepreneur, share with them the updates of your life. You'll have the more reach than just social networks. And social networks, they are building the systems that not all the 100% of your audience, I mean your Facebook friends or followers, will see your post. When you do the email marketing, every person will get the email notification. Every person in your list will remember who you are, what do you do, and what is your value. The fifth point, that the website is we have a lot of marketing specialists here, so you should probably know the such statement as omni-channel marketing. Website is the core of this omni-channel marketing, because you can link both social networks, your email, and your website, and you can drive more traffic to both social networks from the website, or on the contrary, from the social network to your website. So you can showcase yourself to your audience from different perspectives. And this is like big opportunities. Also, for example, on retargeting campaigns, you can do the retargeting from your personal website, whatever. The summary of this key personal website benefits, that you own the website, you're the owner of the website. For example, you want to launch an ad campaign in Facebook. You know that right now it's really hard to manage the admin panel of the Facebook, because they could block your domain, they could block the targeting message that you want to give to your audience, whatever. When you have the website, you can interact with the audience right there. You control of how the website look and feel. With the Facebook or LinkedIn or Twitter, you cannot change the interface. You cannot tell your personal story in terms of design or how you see this world. You cannot give the vision, but the website, you apparently can. And what else? You can get permission to send emails, as we mentioned before. Work with your list, work with your contacts, get emails from your clients or from your potential partners, and drive traffic to social sites. So you can, as mentioned before, you can interact with the audience with the different channels and get it to the omni-channel marketing. Before, when you started thought on personal website, you would probably ask me, okay, I need a personal website. That's totally good for me to boost my personal branding. And before, when you thought about personal website or any kind of website, you will probably go to some kind of WordPress developers and WordPress designers And as Brandon mentioned before, in the beginning of the webinar, he's not the biggest fan of the WordPress, because when you work with the WordPress, yes, you can you hire the people, but you're working with edits, you're working with the communication, and that consumes a lot of time. So in the end, based on our internal statistics here in Weblium, we researched that only 1 of 3 WordPress website goes live. I mean, from the development stage to the publish stage, when people can see your website, only 1 of 3. So 2 other websites that they are just stopping on the development stage, because this is really time consuming. The other variant that you had before about the website, that you can go to the website builder, because they have these beautiful campaigns that even if you don't know website design, you don't know the user experience principles on the website, you can still build up the website. But the same, it was time consuming, because most of the builders, they're drag and drop. They do not provide you with the templates. They do not provide you with the tips on how to work with the web design. And since you are not designer or developer, you are just failing with the building website by yourself and moving back to the WordPress development with outsourced team. And this is like, a loop of back pain in the end, with the wasted result, with the wasted amount of time. And as the result here, you lose money, you lose time, which is not renewable resource in our life at all, and you lose opportunity to target and engage new clients. And what is more important, you don't work on a personal brand, and website really takes your time and money. But right now, when you are thinking about personal website, there are a lot of tools up there that they have the AI, artificial intelligence here, so it can help you with the design, it can help you with the fonts, it can help you with the site style. You have builders with the templates, you have builders with the blocks, and you have the support team that can help you with different moments of publishing your website. So right now, building the website in a personal website, this is the matter of 2-3 hours. It could be even up to 1 hour if you have the content in advance and just need to build the structure. Surely you'll have the success in the end, building and publishing your personal website. And this statement that we talked about, that website takes your time and money, right now this is completely false. And right now I will show the 7 key elements for your personal website, and I will just start the screen sharing.
Hey, Oleg, before you go there, let me just jump in really quick and give people another hack. Because I know there's some people on here that have their own businesses. I recognize a couple of folks. One of my friends, Ann Lobiando, is on here. She and her husband have a photography studio in North Carolina, really excellent photography. So as one example is, even if you have your own business and you have your own website for your business, why not have a personal brand website for every owner or C-level person in that company? Because from a search engine perspective, that gives you the opportunity to, again, get a lot of words indexed on Google on your personal page, but also link back to your professional company website. Google looks for links. It's still a very big popularity contest, and links matter so much. Now, you get links from the social media sites, which are great, but when you get links from other websites, it's important as well. So that's just a hack. And, Brian McFarland made a comment as well about what he loves about Weblium. He had his personal website up in a day. I can tell you, I've sold 2 personal websites for other people that I built in Weblium within a matter of hours, and I was able to sell those websites for thousands of dollars. Okay, so hear me. That is, and I'm not a graphic designer, and I'm not a developer. Okay, in the old days, I would have to hire a WordPress developer or designer or both, and most of my profits for those jobs went out the door, and I was just managing the project. So now with Weblium, I can do this work myself. It's amazing and it's very quick. So I just want to jump in and tell you that. And now turn it back to you, to Oleg, to go through this.
Thanks, Brandon. Thanks for this comment. Before we'll start with the 7 elements that you should have on your personal website, at first you definitely should start with the references. It could be references of people that you adore. I mean, basically in your industry, this is the opinion leaders in your industry. We have a lot of guys in marketing. You can go and check the Neil Patel website, for example. But the other thing that you can get inspired from the templates, or even find the right template for you. For example, this is the personal websites and CVs here in Weblium. You can see fashion photographer, personal website, food photographer, YouTube blogger, and for example, developer CV. And we'll take a look briefly on the developer CV. This is the example of minimalistic, modern-day CV website where you can see the skills that that person has, right? The stack that he or she possess, then the projects, which is also very important to showcase in your CV for the potential employer to see what you was responsible for. Then the experience itself, like your personal story, then the achievements, where have you been, numbers eventually, and also the events with me, so people can by the way, here in this blog I will also place the call to action to get the emails, to gather the emails, and I will just write, for example, stay connected with me. I will notify you with the future events, so you can interact here from this point with your audience. Then, for example, reviews from your colleagues, and here's the email form or phone number form. This was the example of the template. If you like this template, you can start editing whatever. And right now, we will be moving to the 7 key elements that you should have on your personal website. These are the basic elements, and they can vary based on your industry, what do you do, whatever, but this is the key basic elements. Here come the first screen. This is the first screen of the website, or you can name it cover. To build up the cover, you can just go and ask your colleagues, friends, and relatives the first 3 words that they have on their mind about you. If you're a marketer, that could be the marketer, growth manager, whatever, SaaS marketer. Also, if you have ultra major achievements, for example, you helped the US president with the strategy, with the economy strategy, go and place this statement on the first screen. This is the ultra major achievement that just get the wow effect from the visitors of your website. If you sell something like Tanya Robbins or Jordan Belfort on your personal website, put the unique value proposition, and so people will see what you do and what the value of them be present on this website. Here is the example of such a blog. I just put I am, yes, and I can edit the text itself. For example, I am SaaS marketer. Event. And I used to be an admin in Sales Hero community, so we are naming each other like Sales Hero because we are passionate about sales, whatever. And I'll just put here Sales Hero, right? I can just get rid of this text. You can edit the button, some kind of call to action, right? And boom, you have the first screen. Also edit some kind of picture here. Then the next block on your personal website, we call it pitch block because you have the most value here. The areas of your expertise, you should showcase the projects that you have. And you should also write the short summary and be consistent here, because most of the people, even on leaders of the industries on their personal website, they used to write a lot of paragraphs about who they are, right? Because they love themselves, they want to present, but this is not the case because people, they don't have a lot of time to read all this text, especially on the website. Give them more visual instead of the text. And also work with both emotional and rational sides of the visitor. For example, it could be the story about me. Here's the example block where you tell your personal story. We can also add the picture here of me. I will use my picture, right? Here it is. So tell the personal story, work with the emotional side of your clients, and then work with the rational side of your visitors. This is the companies or your projects where you was, and also the numbers. Make people feel who are they facing with. For example, I will just set here 700 sales guys gathered on the conference, right? I'll just get rid of this text. And I can put Weblium logo here because I'm growth marketing manager here in Weblium. Apply image. Let's make it contain, right? Moving on, the third element that you should have on your personal website, this is the details about your projects. This could be just photos and videos or key results. For example, Tanya Robbins, he has like the most starting pictures from his events and description of these events, and also the description of people, videos of people, famous people he worked with. So here's the example block. I will get rid of this text and I will just write here Sales Hero Conference that I organized last year, and I'll put some photos here, like photo of the speaker and photo of the main event hall and photo of the networking space, right? You should add the text itself and blah, blah, blah. So moving on, the first is the block, but in terms of key element, this is optional. I mean, if you post at least once per week, go and add block on your personal website. If you don't, please get rid of the block, because when the visitors will see posts that you added 8 months ago or 1 year ago, they can probably think that you are not active, or at least that you're not an opinion leader anymore, or that you neglected your personal website. This is the huge mistake. And also, if you write some kind of posts in social network, you can write it from personal point of view, but if you post something on your personal website, write it from professional point of view, because here you talk not about emotions, but more about the rational point side of your website visitors. So here is the block element. I will just create the post. I can post a title, for example, website conversion, how to increase website conversion. I can add the story, then just publish this article here. I should also add the picture of me, author name, whatever. And then the fifth element on personal website is gallery. These are just photos or videos of your experience. It could also be, these pictures could be personal, like photos with your friends. Why not? Because people tend to trust elements on the website with the people, right? So let's just add some kind of pictures here. I will use also the conference picture and also these pictures in example, right? This is the photo of me. Then we get the picture from the conference, photo from the speaker, whatever. I mean, one of the most crucial part of your personal website is proving who you are. And nobody can prove better who you are than people that you worked with or that you interact as a client or a partner. These are testimonials, because you can sell yourself, but when people recommend somebody, that's far more effective. In testimonial section, you can use the approach which is called 360 degrees feedback. So go and ask for the testimonial, your teammate, the one who managed you, the person who managed you, the person who you manage, and your client and partner. If you will publish different testimonials on the website, it will be far more effective than just one or two. Here I have the example block of the testimonial, but I like more to publish the screenshots from social networks. So I will just add a new block here, which is just boom, boom, boom. We have elements here, and I will just add the picture. And as the picture, I will add the testimonial from the LinkedIn, right? I can make it smaller or bigger or add more. And I will get rid of this block. The last key element, these are the contacts. This is the point where you can link between social networks, between your personal website, your email, etc. Here, you just, besides of driving traffic to different channels, you just simply tell people how to contact you. So here is just the contact me block. You can add the links to your social networks and then publish the website. I will get rid of these blocks and I will publish the website and send to you. So you will see the published version of the website. We've done it in like 10 minutes, but if you have the content, if you have the vision of how to make the design, you can do the website from scratch or start with the template, right? Let's get rid of this. And then the first screen hint, I'm publishing the website and I will send this website to the chat.
Oleg, that's great. And by the way, while you were talking, Brian McFarlane in Canada posted his personal site, brianmcfarlane.ca. So you can check that out, which he built in Weblium, and it looks really nice. So thank you for sharing that, Brian. And also Brian asked at one point, Oleg, about optimizing a post. Brian, I don't know if you were referring to a blog post in terms of SEO, but if you can comment on that, we'll see about answering that. But yeah, that's a great looking site, Brian. Looks like you may have started with a template or possibly from scratch, but in your case, I like it because it looks like you have, 4 or 5, maybe 4 pages, which is good. In Weblium, you could obviously do a single scrolling page. But I think personally, that's another hack, which you used, is to make multiple pages, because all the pages get indexed in Google. It's another opportunity on every page to have more content. So that's a great idea. So
thank you once again. Thanks for this webinar. And thanks for good questions from the chat. You were really active. Go and build your personal websites, because this is the matter of time. If you have old websites of your businesses, go and just upgrade them. All right, cool. Thank you, guys. We appreciate your time. See you soon, and don't forget to develop your personal branding. Bye-bye.
Thank you. See ya.